listen, man, he needs to stay off the baseball field. That's what he needs to do. But we'll talk about that another
Glory
day.
days. Okay, well, we hope that you get better soon.
We do.
Let's start with the punishment. It's been handed down from Meta World Peace. He's been suspended 7 games without pay for his elbow to James Harden. Stephen A.
No, I'm going first.
Oh, you're going
Sorry.
first. Oh, okay. Does the punishment?
Is that all right?
Does the punishment fit the crime?
I defer to age. Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, can I have your permission to call this man Ron Artests now?
Yes.
Because I'm just done with all that world peace stuff, so I'm going Ron Artest.
Yep.
I said that Ron Artest should miss 4 playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
He has been docked 6 playoff games.
Got it.
So I guess I could say it's a touch much from my original projection.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to remind you, most people were screaming for at least 1 round of the playoffs, if not the entire playoffs. And I want to be very clear about this. This was egregious. This was flagrant.
Right.
This was disgraceful.
Yeah.
But I want to applaud the NBA today for not giving into, not caving into public outcry to severely punish Ron Artest. I loved it, and I applaud the NBA for taking 2 full days to study this situation from every angle and to take into consideration that, number one, Ron Artest has been on his best behavior the last 3 years with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay.
Fair?
Yes, fair.
Okay, but by his standards.
Yes.
And number 2, I believe full well that the NBA took into consideration that Ron Artest's elbow, and it was a cocked and thrown elbow, was not completely unprovoked. That James Harden can be an instigator, and that he did willfully get in Artest's way and try to disrupt his chest-beating celebration.
That is
and I'm not saying he asinine or
asinine,
as 11, as 12, as 13.
I mean, come on.
No, it's not. And
Go
you
ahead.
know and I know
Go
they
ahead.
took this into consideration.
Go ahead.
Because he tried to disrupt the chest-beating celebration. He went and got in his way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little gamesmanship. And again,
Stop.
Was it a flagrant, egregious elbow? Yes, it was. Could it have killed James Harden? Yes, it could have. But did he ask for it in a little bit of way? Yes, he did. And that's what the NBA is saying. We're not going to throw out Ron Artest for the entire playoffs because James Harden had a little something to do with provoking said elbow.
Well, I will give you this. I was looking at my clock on my iPhone.
I noticed.
Because I was trying to figure out, have you ever gotten on my nerves this quickly? I think this might be...
I broke my record?
I think you might have broken your own record. It just took you 2 minutes to get on my nerves, okay?
Well, that's all I get to talk. Usually we got 2 minutes per show.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Number 1. The NBA did not take that into consideration. When we talk about provocation, let's be real about something here. It's the game of basketball. Yeah, you pumping your chest or whatever. You feel a dude. You cold cock an elbow. Now, I don't have a problem with the 7 games, but I would not have had a problem had the suspension been longer, whether it be 10 games, a full playoff series, or even longer. I would not have had any problem with it, but I have no problem with 7 games either. But let me be clear and address a multitude of issues that you brought up. Number 1, let's not look at the victim and try to villainize him in any way. James Harden did nothing to provoke this. There is
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
Oh, come on.
There is nothing that you can do to justify somebody cold cocking you with an elbow. There is nothing.
Did he go out of his way to get in the way?
No, he didn't.
Yes,
go out of his
he
way.
did.
Excuse me, you're watching on TV. That's fine. I was there, courtside. I'm trying to tell you.
You were probably talking to somebody behind you and you missed it.
Actually, you know what? I wasn't. I was actually talking to somebody while I was watching. But that's a different story for another day. My point to you is that he cold cocked him. And you know what? You sound like these crazy callers, these Laker fans that called up on a radio show last night talking about, well, you know what? I had one ignorant caller, I think his name was Jason, actually called up to the show and said, James Harden should have been suspended. He actually said this. He actually said James
I'm not going there.
I mean, just ignorance personified. All I'm trying to say to you is there's a lot of trash talking that goes on in the sport of basketball, okay? It'd be one thing if you are Larry Bird and Dr. J. Remember when Larry Bird was just antagonizing him, talking smack, and Dr. J grabbed him by the throat, and all of a sudden they started swinging on one another. That is entirely different than you literally running down court and cold cocking somebody with your elbow to the back of their head. There is nothing that provokes nor justifies something like that. And when you give it any kind of justification, you are just like opening the door for more and more trouble to come on down the road. You can't do that. Can't do that. There's no room for hooliganism in the sport.
I agree.
There's no room.
Okay, but I want you to go on the record here. Who created the initial contact? The initial contact was created by...
Hold on, wait a minute. If you look at the play, Serge Ibaka is out of bounds. After Ron Artest dunks, Serge Ibaka is out of bounds, getting ready to take the ball inbounds, and James Harden is running towards him to
No,
kick
he's
the
not.
No.
He's going sideways.
He didn't extend his hand. If you look at the play, he didn't extend his hand yet, but it looked like, listen, that's what happened. Ron Artest is coming, and he's literally trying to move. There you go.
Why he goes over and gets in his way? But he wasn't going to get the basketball.
So he went to get in his way.
Yes, he did. He was trying to disrupt the celebration at Staples.
Didn't want to go here.
It's gamesmanship.
Didn't want to go.
Don't ask for her help. You need Chris's help on this?
I'm looking.
Chris, it's okay. It's okay. Try to help.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Zip it.
Yeah.
You're the one that said the suspension would only be 4 games.
I'm looking at her because she's a hell of a lot more pleasant to look at than you.
Now that's
number
debatable.
one. So
That's highly debatable.
now you're really on drugs. Now you really should be drug tested. But the point is I'm trying to make is this, okay? If you look at Ron Artest, we all know that he's not that far away from the Cuckoos.
I agree.
Let's just be real, okay? So you combine that with the fact that when he was in Sacramento, according to numerous people, because I know Ron Artest for a very long time, this dude should have been on medication. There were times that he wouldn't take his medication because he felt he lost his edge. It is entirely plausible that he didn't take his medication. He hasn't been taking his medication over the last month, the way that he's been playing. And that...
Maybe so. I agree with that.
So my point to you is this. If I know that, and Skip Bayless knows that, you had better believe most NBA players know that. That's not the dude they're trying to mess with, Skip.
Okay,
Don't come to me and tell me that Ron Artest or James Harden got in Ron Artest's way. Like East wanted to antagonize him. Really? Ron Artest is not the kind of dude you want to play with. You don't know what he's going to do.
Hey, it's like...
It's all right there.
You don't go poke